And welcome back to the WTIU newsroom, our last election coverage break of the evening. I'm Joe Hren, along with Bob Zaltsberg. Let's get right to the Bloomington mayoral race. We have projected winners, Bob.
Carrie Thompson appears to be the winner. She has won the race. She had 43% of the vote in the Democratic primary. Susan Sandberg came in second, and Don Griffin came in third. There's no Republican candidate at this time. There is a person who's unaffiliated who says he's going to run in the fall election, but Carrie Thompson appears to be your next mayor of Bloomington.
Moving along, City Council at-large bids. Very interesting race tonight, Bob.
Well, I think that the at-large bids were interesting, but I want to look at it just overall, and that is that only 4 members of the council will return after this year. That would be Matt Flaherty, Kate Rosenbarger, Isabel Piedmont-Smith, and Dave Rollo. On the at-large, Isaac Asare was the person who got the most votes, along with Andy Ruff, a former council member, and also Matt Flaherty, who I mentioned before. We do have a little bit from Isaac Asare's acceptance speech, and I think we want to play that now.
I'm so looking forward to working with all of you. I think our best days are ahead of us, not behind us, because we're moving forward together. So thank you so much.
And Bob, before we leave tonight too, I wanted to ask you about just voter turnout in general. How does this compare to previous?
This compares very favorably to 2019. There was no mayoral election in 2019. 5,400 ballots were cast in the primary in 2019. This year there are over 8,000 ballots that were cast. So it was a little bit more active this year.
And before we go, we wanted to get a little bit outside of Bloomington to Columbus Mayor Mary Ferdon with 63% of the vote there over former state representative Milo Smith. Milo Smith, a former state representative, Bob, so some name recognition there. Right. Mary Ferdon worked in City Hall with current Mayor Jim Linnap, who's not, of course, running for re-election. Doesn't look like they have any Democratic challengers there, so we'll see what happens, of course, this summer. Moving ahead to Terre Haute, Mayor, there's a Democratic primary there, and Brandon Sackbun with 54% of the vote, 2,400 votes, with 2,000. Pat Goodwin there, and Brandon will face current Mayor Duke Bennett, who is looking for his 5th term. 10 seconds, Bob.
Well, it's been an interesting night. I think Carrie Thompson she ran a really hard race. She beat a couple of really good candidates, and so I think Bloomington is in good hands.
And we have much more online, WTIUnews.org. Have a great night.